Hi, I'm Jeff Yeager, the ultimate cheapskate and host of The Cheap Life. You know, people always have a lot of questions for me, and I encourage it. In fact, let me answer a few of them here today. You call yourself the ultimate cheapskate, but isn't being a cheapskate bad? How do you define a cheapskate? I'm really glad you asked the question. I use the word cheapskate just to sort of intrigue people's imagination and engage them in a bigger conversation about money and life and what's really important. Call us frugal, call us thrifty, call us smart consumers, or call me cheap. To me, a cheapskate is the polar opposite of a conspicuous consumer. Those are folks who spend and consume at warp speed, really to show off. Cheapskates are too self-confident and, frankly, too smart to spend money on things they don't want or don't even need. It's not about greed or sacrifice, it's just about the spending choices we make every day. How do you see your advice in books as different from other personal finance writers? It's a good question, and frankly, my books are better than theirs. No, seriously, if you look on Amazon, about 80–90% of the personal finance books written are books about how to earn some more money, whether it's through investing or whatever. There's nothing wrong with that, except my books don't focus on that at all. They focus on the spending side of personal finance, how to spend and consume wisely. Many personal finance books start with the premise of, let me teach you how to be rich. I like to say I don't write books about how to get rich. I write books about how to get happy, perhaps with what you already have. In your book, The Cheapskate Next Door, you surveyed more than 300 self-proclaimed cheapskates about their lives and attitude towards money. What are some of the more surprising, insightful things you found? Yeah, that was really quite an interesting survey, and I found a lot of things both curious and really inspiring. To begin with, cheapskate households tend to own, on average, 3 crock pots. A great way to cook an inexpensive meal. Some other stuff that really surprised me. For instance, the cheapskates I surveyed tend to donate twice as much to charity as the average American. They're also about twice as likely to own a passport and have traveled outside the United States as an average American. And here's a quirky bit. The cheapskates I surveyed tend to divorce at less than half the national rate of divorces here in America. Now, you could say that's because they're too cheap to get a divorce, but that's not really the case. They tend to have fewer financial problems because of the way they live, which means they have happier relationships, whether they're married to a fellow cheapskate or not. Pretty interesting stuff. You consider yourself an ardent environmentalist, but doesn't it cost more to live green? To that I say flummadiddle, flummadiddle, flummadiddle. Absolutely not. If you're a typical American, arguably the greenest thing you can do is simply consume and spend less. Here in America, we're but 5% of the world's people. We consume 30% of the world's resources. For everybody to consume at that level would take 3 planet Earths to support it. Unless the universe is offering a special sale, buy 1 planet, get 2 free, something has to change. We talk a lot on The Cheap Life about how doing anything from making your own household cleaners to saving money on gas through certain driving techniques. All of this not only saves you money, but it helps to save the planet's resources. Hey, thanks so much for sending me your questions. Ask me anything you'd like, and I'll try my best to answer you next time. I'm Jeff Yeager for The Cheap Life. Stay curious and stay cheap. Make sure you check out my other videos. Leave a comment and let me know what you think of our show. Subscribe to The Cheap Life. It's free.